All right, this is Mr. Red Fox, and this is a little video where I'm going to give my thoughts on a recent interview, blog post, whatever, that Todd Howard had with some industry insiders and YouTubers talking about Starfield and the Microsoft acquisition of ZeniMax and Bethesda, and what that meant for their games in the future. So I'm going to give my opinion on that. I'm going to give my thoughts, and then I'm going to keep it moving because that's what I do. So without much ado, let's get into it. After the cut. Okay then, so basically, this came from an industrial thing, developer thing called Brighton Digital, where Todd Howard talked with other industry people about the next game. Basically, he talks about how the acquisition of Microsoft is going to let them upgrade and update their shitty ass fucking engine. So here's what I'm going to say. And I know some people are going to get upset, but I don't really care. Basically, actually I take that back. To do a significant upgrade to the engine, overhaul of the engine. Here's the thing. Bethesda's been using the same engine for about 20-something years at this point. The Gamebryo engine is built on the bones of the NetImmerse engine. And then they basically Frankenstein on top of that the Creation engine. And now they're basically Frankensteining on top of that the next engine. They are not creating a brand new engine. Because let me let you in on a little secret. Even if you had a brand new engine and gave it to the Bethesda developers, they still would not be able to create truly good games. All right. You know, I was one of those people who was a proponent of, well, you know, Bethesda's engines are the problem. You know what? Bethesda's engines aren't the problem. That was wrong of me to say. That was false of me to say. The problem isn't the engines. The problem isn't, the Frankensteining. The problem is the developers, okay? The developers are not skilled enough to do what needs to be done. And while it is true they needed to do an overhaul of this system years ago, and there should have been an overhaul. As soon as they finished Skyrim, they should have started overhauling this engine. And all they did was polish it up and basically redo the code enough to get it to run on 64-bit machines. Because remember, when Skyrim first came out, it was a 32-bit game. And then when they released the special edition, it got upgraded to 64-bit games. And that's it. That's the only real overhaul they did. And here's how you know that this is bullshit. Basically, you can use the same console commands across all 5 Bethesda games that have come out under the age of Todd Howard. You can use the same console commands on Morrowind as you can on Oblivion, as you can on Fallout 3, as you can on Fallout New Vegas, as you can on Fallout 4, as you can on Fallout 76, if you can get past the anti-cheat software, as you can on Skyrim, as you can on Oblivion. Like, they continuously, they've been using the same fucking engine, and they're not very good at using it. Basically, Bethesda is the equivalent of, playing a Bethesda game is the equivalent to going to a restaurant and dealing with people who essentially continuously dealing with chefs who, despite having having a good kitchen, good equipment, good pots and pans, good ingredients, continuously get your order wrong. That's Bethesda, okay? And the modding community is the equivalent of their waiter bringing out your food, and you're like, okay, so now I'm going to eat, right? And they're like, oh, your order's messed up, and we aren't going to fix it. And someone across from you at another table is like, you know what, get your plate to go, come to my house, and I'll fix it for you. That's not their job. It is not the job of other people to fix what the restaurant should have done first when you ordered it, okay? And that's basically what we're dealing with here. So why should we trust anything Todd Howard has to say? Like anything about anything. Like literally, Todd Howard hasn't worked on a game. He's a middle manager, okay? Todd Howard hasn't worked on a game since Oblivion, okay? And Fallout 3. Fallout 4, other people were in charge of that game. Todd Howard is an administrator at this point. He doesn't even, because I remember there was an interview where he said, yeah, they don't let me program. So he doesn't program shit. Okay, so anything Todd Howard has to say about engines, overhauls, programming, you take it not with a grain of salt, not with a pinch of salt, a bag of salt. And I don't mean one of those little bags of salt. I mean like you know those bags of rice you go to the international market, that size of salt. So I mean, I'm not gonna listen to anything the man has to say about anything. Because the last time they said they upgraded the engine was with Skyrim, and Skyrim had bugs that were the same as they were in Oblivion, and Fallout 3, and Fallout New Vegas. So, he's untrustworthy is what I'm saying. Which leads me to my next point, which is, even with an upgrade, I mean, is it really going to do anything? And what that really means. So recently, we've heard from Todd Howard, and people who are, fans of Bethesda are saying, well, I mean, the engine has gotten better. So, with the engine being better, this means that, with the engine being better, this means that we can, we can do things. First of all, let me explain something, okay? The only reason Bethesda has waited so long to put out, to overhaul their engine has nothing to do with the stability of the engine. They weren't waiting for the technology to overhaul their engine. They were waiting for new consoles to come out so that they would have to put less work into coding. And they're just going to use the power of the new hardware to brute force everything. Okay? So basically what you're going to get is even more unoptimized games from Bethesda. I would not be surprised if the next games from Bethesda are even more buggy and glitchy than Skyrim and Fallout 76 and Fallout 4. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Starfield is a buggy, glitchy piece of shit. And like I said, unless, what needs to be done is what should have been done shortly after Skyrim came out and they made money hand over fist with Skyrim, they should have paid someone to overhaul the ever-loving shit out of this game. They didn't. Instead, they basically rested on their laurels and did nothing. Took that money and spent it on other shit. I don't know. Went to Vegas. I don't know. Had fun in Vegas with a ton of hookers. I don't know. Went to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch. I don't know. But they weren't spending time making their system better. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Making their shit better. And you can tell because, I mean, it's not getting better. You know? And, you know, it's one of those things where I'm kind of tired of, I'm kind of tired of the argument, you know? I'm tired of people making excuses for the shit. I'm tired of people acting like this is normal. It's not normal for games to come out this buggy and glitchy. It's not okay. It's not normal. This shit is not acceptable. Okay? It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. And frankly speaking, gamers should demand better. Okay? Frankly speaking, gamers should be like, hey, this is not cool that you're selling us a product that is fundamentally broken. It's not okay. This is not cool. But what are you going to do? You know? People will continue to make excuses because, well, I like playing the games. Look, I like playing Elder Scrolls games too. I would say that gameplay-wise, Skyrim is one of the most fun games in terms of just pure gameplay. You know, of just being able to veg out and just waste time while doing something that Bethesda has made in a long time. But it's not a quote-unquote good game. Okay? Like, you know, it still has a lot of issues. It still has a lot of problems. And no one says anything. Everyone's like, well, you know, I like playing, you know, I like this game. It's okay. It's not acceptable. This is unacceptable. We need to stop making excuses for bad behavior. It's unacceptable. We should stop making excuses for the shit. I wish gamers would beg for more, would hope that, would expect more, and want more. But that's just my opinion. We can agree to disagree. So with that being said, that's my, those are my 2 cents. I will give you my conclusion after the cut. So in summary, basically, Todd Howard is not to be trusted. At this point, Todd Howard is basically just essentially he's he's the middle manager. When I say he's the middle manager, I don't mean he's like, like mid-manager in the classical sense. I mean, he's not one of the top people on the board who owns. Well, actually, no, he is. He's one of the. I think he owns like 20%, 20% of the stock, of the internal stock of Bethesda. So he's not even a middle manager. He's upper tier. He's a hype man. Okay, he's there to basically make people want to spend the money. You know, he's there to hype up the games. He's not actually working on any of the games. And frankly speaking, I mean, considering how buggy and glitchy Todd Howard's games have been, because remember, the first game that he was the headline on was the Terminator games that Bethesda made when they got that license back in the day. And those games were notoriously buggy. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. Remember, rate, comment, share, subscribe. You can reach me at mrredfoxbsbuster @gmail.com. Or you can @ me on Twitter, or you can, there's a link to the Discord. So with that being said, that's the end of this video. Rate, comment, share, subscribe, and peace!